Good morning, ladies, and happy Friday. I hope this message finds you well. It's Friday. Rise on up. It is the start of our first Friday of the year. It's been a little bit crazy week. We probably could all agree to that. Half of it was 2024. The other half is a brand new year. You don't know what day it is. There's been so many holidays. I literally thought yesterday was, I think, Sunday. So yeah, my head's all over the place, but definitely enjoying the rest, enjoying the reboost that I needed and clarity, and yeah, definitely grateful for the season and what's ahead. However, we have play dates today and just hanging out. But before we get our day started, we are going to hop on chapter 24, 25, and 26 of Job today. And verse 1 goes like this. It's going to be in the Job. Job is complaining of the violence on the earth. Chapter 24, verse 1. Since times are not hidden from the Almighty, why do those who know him see not his days? Some remove landmarks, they seize flocks violently and feed on them. They drive away the donkey of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox as a pledge. They push the needy off the road. All the poor of the land are forced to hide. Indeed, like wild donkeys in the desert, they go out to their work searching for food. The wilderness yields food for them and for their children. They gather their fodder in the field and glean in the vineyard of the wicked. They spend the night naked without clothing and have no covering in the cold. They are wet with the showers of the mountains and huddle around the rock for want of shelter. Verse 9, some snatch the fatherless from the breast and take a pledge from the poor. They cause the poor to go naked without clothing, and they take away the sheaves from the hungry. They press out oil within their walls and tread wine presses, yet suffer thirst. The dying groan in the city, and the souls of the wounded cry out, yet God does not charge them with wrong. These are those who rebel against the light. They do not know its ways, nor abide in its paths. The murderer rises with the light. He kills the poor and needy, and in the night he is like a thief. Verse 15, the eye of the adulterer waits for the twilight, saying, no eye will see me, and he disguises his face. In the dark they break into houses which they marked for themselves in the daytime. They do not know the light. For the morning is the same to them as the shadow of death. If someone recognizes them, they are in terrors of the shadow of death. They should be swift on the face of the waters. Their portion should be cursed in the earth, so that no one would turn into the way of their vineyards. As drought and heat consume the snow waters, so the grave consumes those who have sinned. Verse 20, the womb should forget him. The worm should feed sweetly on him. He should be remembered no more, and wickedness should be broken like a tree. For he preys on the barren who do not bear, and does no good for the widow. But God draws the mighty away with his power. He rises up. No man is sure of life. He gives them security, and they rely on it. Yet his eyes are on their ways. Verse 24, they are exalted for a little while. Then they are gone. They are brought low. We're still on the same verse. They are taken out the way like all others. They dry out like the heads of grain. Verse 25, now if it is not so, who will prove me a liar and make my speech worth nothing? Bildad is going to respond. Chapter 25, verse 1. Then Bildad the Shehite answered and said, dominion and fear belong to him. He makes peace in his high places. Is there any number to his armies? Upon whom does his light not rise? How then can man be righteous before God? Or how can he be pure who is born of a woman? If even the moon does not shine, and the stars are not pure in his sight, how much less man who is a maggot and a son of man who is a worm? Now, Job answers, chapter 26, verse 1. But Job answered and said, how have you helped him who is without power? How have you saved him, saved the arm that has no strength? How have you counseled one who has no wisdom? And how have you declared sound advice to many? Verse 4, to whom have you uttered words, and those whose spirit came from you? The dead tremble, those under the waters and those inhabiting them. Sheol is naked before him, and destruction has no covering. He stretches out the north over empty space. He hangs on the earth on nothing. He binds up the water in his thick clouds, yet the clouds are not broken under it. He covers the face of his throne and spreads his cloud over it. He drew a circular horizon on the face of the waters at the boundary of light and darkness. Verse 11, the pillars of heaven tremble and are astonished at his rebuke. He stirs up the sea with his power, and by his understanding he breaks up the storm. By his spirit he adorned the heavens. His hand pierced the fleeing serpent. Indeed, these are the mere edges of his ways, and how small a whisper we hear of him. But the thunder of his power, who can understand? Whew. And I think, yep, chapter 26, and that's where we're going to end, ladies. 24, 25, 26. And let me tell you something. We have quite a few chapters left going, but Job is just going, he's going to maintain his integrity, and he is just going to tell Bildad exactly what time it is. So looking forward to hearing more about it the rest of our time together. How can man be righteous? You know, yesterday my boyfriend, he saw a young man had to be between the ages of 23 to 25 years old. He said laying, I would say, I don't know if you would call it a field, but just like a grass area in Florida where you have retention ponds like separating subdivisions and or connections. And my boyfriend owns his own landscaping business, and he saw a boy laying on the other side. The only thing is, he was never moving, so he thought he would just go and check to make sure everything's okay, because he rescues animals on the side of the road, amongst other things. So he goes over, and the young boy was unconscious, from what it seems like, or under something of some kind, perhaps, because he was breathing, but when he was moving his shoe and shouting out to him, the boy would not respond, even though he was breathing. So he was flagging down from the homes that he could see visually. They had their blinds open, windows open, and some came to windows, and people just shrugged their shoulders and shut their blinds and shut the window and ignored him. No one came out to help. No one called anything. Thankfully, he had his cell phone number. Didn't have to leave the boy. Because in my opinion, if you're looking that young, you're still a boy. I mean, men don't technically biologically grow up and really start coming into their own brains until like 27. So that was a cry for help. I mean, nobody lies around under the influence, just laying in the grass field. And I mean, his body was almost limp, and like if he was just tossed there. So hopefully that wasn't the case. However, no one helped him. People were standing there. They were going, just a couple days ago, the woman on the New York City subway train getting lit up by fire, and even police officers walking across from her, and no one did nothing to help the woman. I mean, I'm not saying you probably can stop her from burning, clearly, because of what the man did. However, you can do something, just something. I mean, I know subways have fire extinguishers. So I don't know. I don't know the world that we're coming into, the society that we are, but no one helps. No, everyone turns the cheek. Everyone looks away and just worries about self. And let me tell you something, that is not what we are supposed to do. And we are to help one another. If you see someone down the road, don't get me wrong, God says be wise, not dumb. Don't put yourself in a situation where if you be mindful of the circumstance and your surroundings. But if you see someone hurt and you can do something, and you know it's a safe environment to which you're not going to be attacked or shot or something, like again, use common sense, you should be helping them. We are not to be leaving each other one behind. So definitely pray for our world. Pray for, even just listening to Job and hearing what he has to say here, let me tell you, he's not lying. He's not lying. I don't understand where we got this far, but we need to bring goodness back. We need to bring morality back. We need to bring, we need to bring something back, because something's very different, and it takes up to us to redeem ourselves and redeem the world that is here until Jesus comes back. This is the world that we live in. And I would like to make it a better place for my children and future grandchildren if they so get to see here and not already arise up there. So I don't know. Just letting someone know, do a good deed today. Be a good person. Don't turn the cheek. You never know. You never know who your cheek you're turning to, because anybody can be in disguise. Angels can look like humans, amongst other things. So I don't know. The world is just, it needs a lot of prayer. However, we're going to get the day going. I hope you have a blessed weekend, and we will talk on Monday. See you soon.